Hello my dear friends and welcome to my channel. My name is Barbara and today we're going to be looking at Moon conjunct Pluto in Synastry. So this video is for you if your moon is conjuncting somebody else's Pluto in their natal chart or vice versa. If you're a cross watcher, welcome as well. So moon in our natal charts represents our emotional world. It's what's going on truly deep down beneath the surface, our desires, the intuition, all of these wonderful things. The Pluto energy, the Plutonian nature of an individual is going to be the dark side of that person. It's going to be the obsessions. It's going to be the subconscious, the unconscious, all of these Scorpio-like things. So when you've got Moon conjunct Pluto going on in Synastry, naturally this dynamic is going to be very, very Plutonian. Just like I've been saying with all of these other videos as well, it's going to depend on the rest of the natal chart, what's going on with the individual and how evolved these two individuals are, how many shadow traits are taking place beneath the surface. Because this dynamic with Moon conjunct Pluto, the Plutonian person can feel very, very understood by the Moon individual. And the Moon individual is going to be very open and compassionate and understanding toward the Plutonian person as well. So in this dynamic, let's say the Plutonian person has certain shadows or subconscious traits or traits that they're not aware that they are exhibiting. The Moon person is going to be very accepting of this. So very quickly, because Pluto does deal with power and control, this dynamic can turn into the Plutonian person trying to keep the Moon person around. They want this person around because it feels good for them. They feel validated, they feel accepted, they feel heard, they feel understood. It can even be kind of like an intuitive type of dynamic between these two people. The Moon person can be very nurturing also toward the Plutonian person. Once again, there's going to be a lot of acceptance of the Plutonian individual. But it really depends, like I was saying, as to what's going on with the shadows, how developed both of these people really are, because this relationship can go down south very quickly, where it's like the Plutonian person always wants the Moon person to be around. They can become very obsessed with the Moon person. In this day and age, it can even be internet stalking, constantly checking their social media, seeing what's going on, what is the Moon person up to. The Pluto person can be very attracted to the Moon person, but honestly, it's going to be reciprocated between the two people. It's Plutonian. When we have a Plutonian dynamic, there's going to be a lot of chemistry between the two individuals, obviously depending on the rest of the natal chart. A lot of attraction, a lot of pull, a lot of magnetic attraction, but it's really interesting because the Plutonian person might not understand now, where is this sudden obsession coming from? They're probably going to be trying to dissect, like, what is it about that person? I'm so attracted to them. So that's kind of the dynamic between the two of these individuals. It can also turn into emotional manipulation from the Plutonian individual, where it's like they're kind of maybe even love bombing the Moon person to keep them around. That's the thing, because the Moon individual is making the Pluto person feel good, because again, there's a nurturing aspect to it, the accepting energy, the intuitive energy. It can be very, very intense. All Plutonian dynamics are very, very intense, especially once again, if the parties are not really developed or unaware and they don't really know what's going on. It can be very much high, low, high, low, high, low, especially for the Moon individual, because again, this Pluto person is kind of trying to keep this person around, and it might be hard to break out of this dynamic also, especially if it turns into an intimate dynamic. That's going to be very, very challenging, because the energy between these two individuals is going to be almost explosive, is really what that is. Again, very much magnetic attraction, very much kind of like an undertone of feeling understood, feeling heard, but also, like I said, if it goes into the shadow aspects, it can very much become a very dark dynamic, or depends again as to what's going on even with the signs, because maybe the Moon person can try to trigger the Plutonian person, kind of bring up their shadows on purpose, throw it in their face on purpose. So it really depends as to what's going on in terms of the development of the two individuals. But overall, it's going to be magnetic. There's going to be an instant connection, instant pull. There's going to be a level of comfort between the two people. The Pluto person is going to feel very accepted and understood by the Moon person, maybe even not understanding why they feel such a pull to this individual. For all of these Moon conjunction videos that I've been doing, I do feel like the Moon person does get more affected by all of these conjunctions, whether it's positive or negative, because it does deal with the emotional world. So they're really going to be feeling it. That's the thing. Like the Moon person is really going to be feeling it, especially if they're intuitive, then they're going to be feeling it even more. Like let's say they're clairsentient or something of the sort. Like it can very much turn into like a merging, this type of dynamic. It can go once again into the shadow merging. It can also be like both people are bringing out each other's triggers. Like it can very much be hardcore, this Pluto conjunct Moon dynamic. But again, it can also be positive in the sense if this energy does eventually get neutralized. If you think about it, all relationships are always going to bring out some sort of shadows to the surface, but overall it's going to be intense, magnetic, hardcore. This energy is very much hardcore. Moon conjunct Pluto in Synastry. So with all that being said, I'm going to wrap up this video here. I do hope you guys enjoyed my video on Moon conjunct Pluto. If you did, please do like, share, and subscribe. And I hope you all have a beautiful rest of the day.